All right, guys, we're at our third and final stop for this little video series, and this is the oldest successional stage that we're trying to go in and specifically create ideal bedding out of. Now, what's important to note, as you've seen kind of the middle years, kind of the early years, and now we're seeing the back end years, these were all fields at one time. We're dealing with the same species that have been in all of them. They look drastically different, but that's just the stages in which they're growing at. So we're trying to find that middle ground sweet spot. But with this one, what we have to do is reduce the woody component pretty greatly. As you can tell, we're 100% closed canopy. We still have shingle oak. We have a few bur oak in here now. We've got cedars, but what we've lost is the brambles and the grass load. And when I say lost, I mean it's just simply not an environment that they can grow in, but the seed source and the seed stock is likely still here in this site. All we have to do is give it sunlight, feed it sunlight. So in an area like this where we have a high stem count of those hardwood species and a few dotted cedar, and we can also see that a lot of the cedar has kind of died out itself. There's some that, or the amount of cedar has reduced itself and has gone more hardwoods. But to combat the amount of hardwoods in here, what we need to do is come in and do some hack and squirt treatment, but we also need to flush cut and we also need to hinge cut some of those hardwoods to create that vertical structure. But if I'm coming in here to create the site, implement the ideal bedding, I'm going to come in here, I'm going to flush cut the cedar, and then about 2/3 of the trees I'm going to hack and squirt, and the other third I'm going to hinge cut and or choose to flush cut, just depending on that proximity to the down structure of the cedar that I cut first. We've got to use some herbicide in here just because of the number of stems. We don't want to put all the trees on the ground. Again, we would not have the ability for deer to navigate the site. It would be too dense and too thick. So we're going to treat some, kill some standing. The rest of them, based on the proximity to the down cedars, are going to either be flush cut and or hinged over if we're needing more of that horizontal cover to create that ideal structure. Once that sunlight in the forest is opened up, those brambles and grasses post-fire are going to most likely come back and be present in this area. We're going to take hardwood forest now and convert it into bedding, whereas other areas we're turning fields and or later successional fields into ideal cover. But no matter where you are starting at, you can create ideal cover for bedding. We've just walked you through 3 different ways that we would do so on this specific site here in northern Missouri. All right, guys, so as we're walking through here, I'm just going to show you exactly what I do with some of these species based on the density and also the size of each one of these. So we've got quite a few shingle oaks right here. I'm probably going to choose to hinge cut 1 to 2 of these larger ones and then simply hack and squirt, just kill these things standing. They're so small, just one little hack with a hatchet and it's dead, out of the way. Those 2, I'd probably hinge, 3-4 inch DBH. Step up here a little bit higher, kind of a south facing slope right here, those cedars, I know I'm going to flush cut those. The shingle oak, I'm probably going to just cut and fell. And then here, I've got the bur oak and an elm on the other side. Probably hinge cut 1 or 2 of those in that now opening, create that horizontal space, and be ready to rock and roll. As I move up a little bit higher, I know I've got quite a few more cedars in here. If I get to an area that I have too much cedar, I might even consider girdling some of those and spraying that and killing it standing. But here, I'm not too worried about it. I've got a hickory there that I probably will cut and drop as well. And then as we roll over, our stem count gets a little bit higher. Probably going to start using more of the hack and squirt scenario there because of that stem density and not clogging up the area. So based on the stem density, the size, and the species, as you're walking around in a unit, you have to keep an open mind of what technique you're using. Again, not to clutter the area, but to get and encourage new sunlight in the ground. Get that.